Recording in three, two, one.
All right. Welcome to Refrigerator Diaries Behind the Food. And we've got a very special guest with us today. A lot of time when I have a conversation with someone, initially they don't talk about Detroit, they don't talk about Michigan, and they don't talk about things that actually are relevant behind the food. One person could say that Detroit urban gardeners save between 250 to $1,000 in groceries annually, and 1.5 million of this produce is, in terms of revenue dollars, are grown by Detroiters each year. Genevieve here, our leader steering the ship, captain of Bangkok 96, as well as Thai Feast.
Correct. Thai Feast. It's an e-commerce Amazon.
E-commerce Amazon. And right now I'm holding in my hand a gourmet sriracha hot sauce that is made by your company, bottled, packaged, distributed, and can be purchased at the restaurant. It can also be purchased online.
Yeah. Right now at the restaurant. Yeah. Bangkok 96 and this location, Detroit.
So I can't wait to get this on my, I'm going to take this home and put it on my dinner.
You put on your macaroni and cheese.
Right.
And your burger.
Right.
And your pizza.
Everything.
Everything.
All of it. So, Genevieve, how did you get started in the restaurant industry?
You know, I grew up, I was born in Laos. My original is Hmong.
Okay.
And the Hmong people always live in the, like in a mountain. Yeah.
Okay.
And everybody just survive by garden or fishing.
Okay, so you come from a mountain background, surrounded by gardening and fishing.
Exactly, yes.
And so you just naturally started to cook the things that you grow and eat the things that you fish?
Yeah, just eat whatever. We live in a country, we don't have a job. Mm-hmm. So there's no job to people. So we have to depend on the river, we have to depend on the garden behind your house or have your... find a land and you can grow your own rice or your vegetable and raise your own chicken, and your own pig. Yeah.
So you got a chance to really just be one with the land. What brought you to the United States?
Well, it was a long story. I was born in a Vietnam War, always a Vietnam War, 1965 and 1975 when the Khmer Rouge went to the country, so we have to get out of the country because all the people, live there, they don't have jobs, so they just work for United States CIA,
Okay, so it's kind of like...
So it's kind of, it's a tricky, so we have to, our parents work for United States, so we have to leave the country. That's what we became a refugee in Thailand.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay, see, I hear a different way, like a different one every time. It's the country owes a lot to its immigrant people. I'm a son of immigrant, so
yeah. And being a refugee is very hard because you don't know where you're gonna go and where you face to. So it's very challenge for us for Asia 12, 9, 12. Yeah.
So you came here. What year was it?
I went to Paris like a refugee also.
Okay, all right.
Because my father was, a French, French colonization. So he worked for French soldiers. So he chose to go to Europe, but that was the wrong destination for us also.
I see. And then, so you went to France first, and then from there, you came to the United States. How old were you when you came to the U.S.?
I left my country. I was 9. And went to France in 1977. So 2 years after we went there, he committed suicide. So it was the mistake. Went to France.
Okay, I see. Then so we come to the U.S. So on moving to a lighter note here, what brought you into food here?
Well, I always loved to cook because I grew up back home in Laos. When you wake up, it's always those, old lady make a lunch or breakfast and take to the market. Mm-hmm. So every morning I have to just, food inspire me when you have a neighbor always cook food.
Right.
And temple too. Every Sunday, my mom always took us to the temple, and that's how the monk bless after they bless the food, and we have to eat the food, and that's how the best food is from the temple.
Okay.
So my message for all the chef, you don't need to travel so far. If you travel to Southeast Asia, if you want to, find a good taste or something very good, then the temple, that's where you need to go.
See,
Yeah.
pro tip.
It's not a street food.
Yeah.
It inspire you. My advice for you is go to the temple, and that's how you the Sunday.
that
That's
street
how the
food
taste
alone.
can from. But the street food is still not enough.
Yeah.
The good food is from the temple, old temple. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you got some fans of your restaurant here in both of us. We were just talking about how much we love coming to eat at your restaurant here.
Thank
and
you.
It's one of the best. I really think I've almost eaten just about everything on that menu.
It's cooking from love, Come here to Detroit. It's a big challenge too. I think all chefs, want to open a small place in Detroit. It's not, you have to get ready. Because every day is a new place open, and they're very good.
Oh, yeah.
They make a different food, or they can take all original food and take to the next level. So chef, if you want to come, all chef want to come to Detroit, you gotta get ready, and it gotta be good.
It's got to be ready.
It's
gotta
a
get
very
good.
big competition here. Yes. Yeah.
So, I mean, this would be your second location now.
This is a second location, but I want to challenge myself here, Detroit. And
Yeah.
Detroit, it look like New York or California.
Okay.
And I travel a lot, and I know exactly. But my belief, Detroit still way behind New
Okay.
York and California. Yeah.
Okay. And you think it's because of the people, or is it something different?
I think we still a little bit the Western, behind the food. The new food like in New York and California is still another 10 or 12 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so so when I go and eat in other places and I come back to Detroit, I think even with so we do African and Caribbean food with Young
Yes.
Village, and I always say, and I don't think that people can really understand it, but I say, like, imagine if African and Caribbean food was inside of a culinary school. The way that the chefs from that school can come and push the recipes. They would push everything about the food further ahead, like how you eat like French and Italian, like it's all like next level, high level stuff, but that's what you practice with when you were in the school. That's all they teach you. You can't do nothing else. So
Well, this is the thing. United States is a very beautiful, it's a very rich country in the world. We got spoiled by only the good piece like chicken breast,
oh yeah.
So I live in France. French people eat everything.
Yeah.
They eat just like Asian. They eat gizzard, they eat the pig nose, pig tail, pig feet,
All of it.
and even horse.
Really?
Horse is so expensive. That's the expensive meat. Only the French people can afford it.
I see.
But
I
here
see.
we can because we love so much the animal.
Yeah.
So it's different country, different part of the world. Everybody's different. That's why
true.
we're not used to diversify. Like immigrate cuisine.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree with you on that. I think that even like you said, right? Like just what people are willing to eat. There's a lot of dishes that I just don't even feel comfortable.
Exactly.
Bringing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And I think the war too make people like French. There's a lot of war. So people don't have anything to eat, then they have to whatever. On the table, then they eat. That's people just get used to. But here, we always been spoiled, good forever.
Yeah.
And a lot of people not have experience to eat whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
So I personally, I like to exclusively cook with thighs and leg on
Yes.
the chicken only. I don't even do anything else. That's all I do.
Right.
Just because, when I'm working with some of my guys, sometimes even like new people with learning the recipe, I know if they leave it in there a little too long, it will be okay because it's a thigh. It's not. The leg is not gonna as naturally tender as it's gonna do what it needs to. But a lot of people they come up, they say, "Hey, do you have white meat?" I say no, and then they walk away. That's it.
Yeah.
You know,
So, so you gotta know your audience. You gotta know who's eat more. 90% eat chicken breast, right? Then you have to serve chicken breast while you serve for Thai meat too. Only
I
10%.
notice you have
yeah.
like that nice chicken breast spread that
Yes.
you put out there. So do you find that you just cater to all of the audiences?
Yeah, I like to offer the chicken breast because the chicken breast is very hard to cook. If you don't know how to execute or marinate the chicken breast, then it's turned very dry and very
Yeah.
fiber. So you would never finish even one piece. But the way my chicken breast is so tender, it look like filet mignon.
It is.
You,
It is
you,
a
you
very
don't need a knife. You just cut by your fork. I
yeah
think,
fork tender.
yeah, it's tender, and you enjoy the 4 piece. Yeah.
Yep, I just smashed on this right before
Yeah.
right before it was excellent.
Thank you.
I may get another. Okay, so before we take a quick break here, I wanted to just end on a note here. We talk a lot about this being refrigerator diaries, behind the food, things that are happening behind the scenes. Like I know, like right now, you have this bottled sauce here. I'm always talking to people. I think the future of the restaurant industry is going to be based off of the restaurant that sells more things like this.
Yes, like a homemade.
Yeah, like homemade sauce, like T-shirt, just something that is in addition to the restaurant.
Yes.
The costs are getting higher and higher. More of these like Grubhub and Uber Eats. There's a new one like Fuda and Guestaurant. They tell you they're going to take 30%.
I think that's a little bit too much. But they should take it a little bit easy, make easy for everybody. I think we can grow fast. If you're too expensive, I think the market is not that great.
Yeah. Do you yourself do any of these?
Yeah, we partnership with Grubhub, but I think Grubhub charge $6 for deliver plus tip. So I think that's a little bit too expensive for one person order dinner and charge for double. Yeah.
Yeah. Copy that. So when we return, we're going to go a little bit deeper into the ins and outs of what you got to do to run 2 successful operations and a budding sauce company when we come back on Refrigerator Diaries. All right, I'm just going to do a quick prime here, and then